podcast. Later, articulators, new behavior. Talk about the shit, then research later.
Post-grad plus dumb ass equals podcast. Serious bullshit podcast.
Later, articulators, new behavior. Talk about the shit, then research later.
Post-grad plus dumb ass equals podcast. Serious bullshit podcast.
Later, articulators, new behavior. Talk about the shit, then research later.
Post-grad plus dumb ass equals podcast.
I almost forgot to keep doing that, dude. Keep that going. Oh wait, hang on. You're playing it to your ear, not the microphone, just so you know. I can't hear what's going on. Dude, all right, no. All right, everybody, hang on 1 second. No. Pause your little shit. Pause whatever you're doing. Right now, I got... No. For everybody that's been listening, okay, Stroming's going to try and say that I did something wrong this time. This fucking guy, and I'm pretty sure this is what happened last time, too. He's holding the fucking phone, which he's trying to play something for all of us to hear, up to his headphones in his ear, and then away from the microphone, which is sitting across the room from him, I guess. And so I can't hear it, it like cuts in and out. If you held it next to the computer instead of next to your ear, we could probably hear it perfectly, bro.
The microphone's in the headphones.
What?
Yeah.
Nah, that just blew the whole goddamn theory out of the water then, dude. I don't know why it won't play through.
And to add insult to injury, last week you squeeched the intro.
That was actually 2 weeks ago that I did that, or 2 episodes ago that I did that.
No, that was 1 week. That was the Ninja Week, which was last week.
Oh yeah, no. That did squeach. That did squeach. I don't know if that was
straight squeach.
I don't know if that was due to me or just due to technical difficulties, which are two completely different things. I don't know if you knew that. They are unrelated.
All right. So
unrelated.
Christian's offensive position is now he's now retreating.
I've retreated, but I still stand in that.
Offensive.
I still stand in that. I don't understand how that phone could not be playing through that well, and it could pick up you talking. Like it must be better at picking up a voice or something, or what the hell?
I did squeach the fact that the volume was too low. The volume wasn't high, and that's how I fucked up.
Well, I realized that honestly, I came at it. All right, listen, brother. I came at it from a defensive because I thought you were going to come at me on the offensive. So I'm just going to go. I'm going to retract a little bit. Maybe we can meet here at the 50-yard line. What do you think, brother? All right. Well, what's up? Serious bullshit. We're here. We're back. It's happening. We're doing this. What are you drinking? What is that?
It's a beer. It's I poured a Coors into this water. Into this glass.
I was about to say, wait, what?
I drink water out of this glass. So I was going to call it a water glass.
If you water down Coors, like at what point of watering down Coors is it just water, right? You only got to water it down 50%, and then it's pretty much just water. It can pass.
It's actually as soon as it touches your lips and gets a little bit of moisture from your lips, now it's water.
Yeah, actually, dude, if you just combine 50% water and 50% Coors Light, and you just heat it up, you can pass a drug test with that. Actually, I didn't know if you knew. You just dump that in the cup, and they're like, "Oh shit, word! This guy parties. He's cool. Don't worry about it."
No, dude, I've heard people about how nowadays they'll call you out on diluting. I don't really think that was a thing when I was younger. I would just drink a bunch of water and be fine. But now, if you take a drug test and it's too clear, your urine was diluted and you have to take it again.
So, I mean, that's always been a thing, I thought. Just depending on, like, if you do it for a job or something, like, depending on the place, they might not count. But if it's like a government-issued one or like a police one or something like that, then yeah, they're gonna make sure that it's not too clear. Like, if you pound, like, too much water, kind of, and you just piss straight water, yeah, they'll fucking make you retake it.
I don't think that was always a thing.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. I'm not old enough to know, but I feel like it was.
Well, yeah, obviously not before. Anytime before our time, yeah. I don't know about that.
No, I mean, I don't feel like it was a thing when I was first taking drug tests in high school.
Definitely was for us. Yeah, because I remember Mike having that. Somebody watered it down. Mike or Stewart actually did it. Like, had to take the second piss. I think it happened to probably Stewart. I'm guessing. I had to give him my pee. I think before we smoked weed, I gave him my pee one time, and then he had gotten pee from somebody else. I think Mike just had to use some pee. Like, you can get away with it pretty easily, apparently, as far as like at jobs and shit like that. But I'm sure if it's at a cop, they'll watch your dick come out and like watch the piss leave your fucking pee hole and everything. Keep it going. Thank you. But yeah, and so I'm cooking a weird vegetable cake right now, trying to make sure I don't burn it. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So yeah, I don't know if that's always been a thing before we were taking drug tests, but I do remember that for sure.
I'm guessing Stu like straight up put water in it. Like he skipped the whole like drinking that part and just like squirted some water in it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
He also, it was probably for something court related, so they probably were meticulous about it. But I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Mike had to do one.
Must have always been a thing.
Yeah, Mike just had to do one recently for his new job. He just used some of his kids' piss. That's one of the boons of having a kid, I guess. That doesn't really know what's going on because they're just peeing in a potty. I was just like, can you imagine? Mike, the kid leaves the room and Mike just comes. He's in there and he's like isn't like pulls the potty up and he's just like pouring piss out of a potty into like a little jar or something like that. And he's like, all right, I gotta get out of here before the kid sees. She just walked in on him. Like, what are you doing, Dad?
What type of job is that?
A mechanic job.
Oh, okay.
Like at like a dealership. But he said they didn't even give a fuck. Really didn't like check anything, and it was pretty smooth. Totally.
Have you ever talked to those guys at the dealership?
They're some gnarly dudes usually. I don't.
Yeah.
I've never had a car that you could take to a dealership. I get kicked off the grounds.
They're like, we're not service those anymore.
Yeah, we don't serve y'all's kind here. We don't serve hippies. I'm not a hippie. Fuck you, man. I hate that. So what were we talking about before we were gonna get this crunked off with here? We went to Keurig's. We went into the cups.
Went into Keurig's, went into cups. I'm all, yeah.
But that's like all right. So yeah, Sterling just said, he pointed out that, which is true, I'm sure, that it's bad for the environment to use the K-cups because you just throw in little bits of plastic, right? Constantly.
Every day.
All right,
you
every
probably
day.
Done two today already.
No, just the one. No, actually, I did do two, yeah, because I fucked one up.
Boom.
So it's like, to say that that's a problem, it's like, all right, but I'm sure people are still not going to be boycotting using bottled waters or anything else that creates unnecessary plastic garbage. Like, that's not, my point was just that fuck it, because then there's no stopping. Humans are a wrecking ball that we're like trying to hold back the force of, and it's like the only way to like not producing as much garbage is not the answer. The answer is going to be to figure out what to do with garbage, like to get rid of garbage completely somehow.
Exactly, and the way you get rid of it is by going through sustainable things, such as using the same carafe every day in the same cup and the same little, not the K cup with the little plastic disposable one, but the reusable one every day, and then you don't have that trash generated every day. Yeah, but the companies who have invested interest in creating plastics, which I'm sure are a gigantic one that has one of the biggest industries in the world, nobody really good. You fixed it. Okay. Did that just start happening? Yeah, it happened right at the beginning of that question, and I went to the actual podcast to see if it was actually happening, not to just me. And you should have just said something. Just say something to me immediately next time, and I can just try something at least that'll at least stop it from happening. So that's probably annoying the listeners. Yeah, it's over now. Nice. Fucked it. I didn't fuck that up. I don't understand what that is. It's something in voice meter. You just switch the input to one of the other inputs, and then it works for a long time. Then eventually it just fucks up, and then you got to just switch it back to the other one, and then it works for a while. Anyways, it's just one of those things where it's like, man, we've got it set up, so it's like I don't know how to do this better for free. So it's like this is it's just the way it is right now, motherfuckers, dude. Y'all just fucking tell your friends, get them to subscribe, donate, and hang out and listen, and fucking pass the word around, and then it'll get better from there. So where did it cut out my entire thing that I said there? In addition, I could kind of understand it, but at the same time, I was also trying to figure out if it was also for the listeners. Word.
Well, yeah, just like you're gonna have to create an incentive for the everyday person to not choose the most convenient thing, which right now would be a plastic K-cup. That's why everybody, even though it costs more, they're just veering towards it because convenience and time is what everybody wants now. Everybody's scared to die. Everybody's buying time with shit, even though they don't realize they're wasting a lot of it. So everything's about decreasing the amount of time something takes. So if the Keurig can make your morning, a fucking minute, shave a minute and a half off your morning, people will choose that over that. And so, so you have that need to be figured out, and then also just the I'm sure that plastic industry is so gigantic and monolithic, and nobody thinks, oh, you think about big oil, but is there like a big plastic that's like gonna step in
Plastic
and say, oh,
is made from oil.
Well, there you go. That's what I'm saying. So like that's the incentive you'd have to create. Oh, what are they gonna make plastic for then? They're like, no, we're just gonna keep making fucking plastic, dude. They're not gonna stop making it. Like, so you'd have to create an incentive for them to not even want to make that anymore and use something that's more renewable. That's why I'm saying, like, the answer is not to just everybody use less, because, yeah, that sounds great, but it's like, hey, why don't we all just get along, too? Like, it's not you're not going to stop the people that want to do shit, like make fucking tons of money and, have tons of power and influence over the entire world from doing that if that's what they want to do. Like, this is just part of humans. It's one of our flaws. And so the answer would only have to be to figure out a way to, I'm just going to say, incinerate. I just use the word throw into a volcano, or use the idea of throwing into a volcano. Like, Superman just grabs a big ball of trash, and he just, goes and just, tosses it into some lava, and everything's cool. Obviously, that's not, but that's, that's the metaphorical idea of what I'm talking about. Like, we got to figure out what the lava is to just get rid of this garbage, because, we ain't going to stop producing it, bro. We need to figure out a better way to manage this shit.
I don't think we're going to stop producing it, but I think that we can not increase the amount that we're using it. And I think that while I'm certainly not saying to get rid of all plastic. I use a plastic water bottle that I've been using for almost 4 years now. Same water bottle. And so I use plastics. My computer's made out of plastic. It's made out of plastic. I don't think that that we need K-cups to keep the plastic industry alive. I think it'd be fine without it. And to the point of incentives that people have and need, the saving time thing is the thing that I'm having the hardest bit sort of culling, because for myself, it's a value just that I have innately in me that I don't want to create waste, and so I will take a couple seconds to not use this plastic bullshit that ends up in the ocean and destroying natural resources that I hope to use one day. And so it's more of a I hope to use things around the world, and so I have a vested interest in not producing garbage.
I understand that, but you are in a position where you can afford to think about it, and so you're in a small percentile of people. Even if Justin, you say in Albuquerque, that can live in a situation like the way you live in right now, and your problems, I hate to say white people problems, but just majority of people are poor people or middle class, undereducated people that are around. That's the vast majority of people, not just in the United States, but around the world. And those people don't have the same values as you, and they don't think about waste. They don't even conceptualize the dump. It doesn't cross their minds. So to just think that bringing awareness to them is not gonna it's almost like the answer of just us relying on humans to cut back is it's too utopianistic. I feel like it's not realistic enough as far as what the sheer amount of regular ass motherfuckers, dude, who being out doing comedy, man. You meet regular motherfuckers all the time, dude. People that are just not. These people work jobs. They're drained. They don't give a fuck. They just want to go see some shit, laugh, and then go home and be like, man, wake up and do it all over again. They're not thinking about the environment. They just can't. They can't. They don't give a shit about it. They don't have the time, the mental time, or the physical energy to even think about it. They're probably eating poor diets. They're probably eating, just whatever they can use to survive. And so, us as a species, you're gonna need an Elon Musk shoot it into space, giant ball of trash, just as a joke again. But like just relying on human beings to change the way that we're going right now would be like, man, that would be so hard to pull that big, that captain's wheel and hang on to it to try and veer that thing back on the track, because you'd have to create an environment for where the majority of people can even worry about their consumption or whatever it is. And I'm not just like, and this is going beyond K-cups, and we're just talking about plastic plates. You know what I mean? Paper cups, forks, all that shit that's just going to end up in a landfill. Yeah, all that, just bullshit.
Yeah, and that's why. So my point would be that you don't actually have to change the people that you're talking about's idea. All you would need to change is the regulation on businesses to say that that's polluting the environment in the same way that coal and lead is. Lead from coals and the carcinogens and heavy metals that come out of smokestacks, we regulate that because it's bad for the environment. Excess plastic is also bad for the environment, and so by regulating businesses, you could just send those values down where the people every day don't think about it, they just buy whatever they were going to buy anyways.
That makes sense, but you can't even. The technology's been around to do solar panels and to do renewable energy sources for a long time. It's not accessible for a reason. And it's like oil's been outdated for a while now, and there's something about these giant like black hole corporation type money, just the top of the tier echelon people that have all this influence, especially in politics and all this stuff. And that it's like, man, if we can't wrangle in these oil companies that are just throwing their dick everywhere and plowing through fucking like the most pristine places on the planet, nobody gives, you know what I mean? Like, if we can't even rein these cocksuckers in, how are we going to rein in, and actually rein in, which is probably a less profitable method of selling shit. Like the K-cups, it's super profitable for somebody. Like somebody's making a fucking retarded amount of money off of that. And I would go as far as to say, dude, that coffee is like the biggest drug in America, okay? Hands down, and nobody talks about it. But it's the biggest drug in America. Think about how much coffee we must import in here, especially just with Starbucks alone, of just importing straight drugs constantly, dude. Like, that's a lot of fucking... I mean, I drink a good amount of coffee myself, and so it's like, man, no, this K-cup shit could be pretty big, dude. If you think about it, if they converted everyone's daily coffee drink to K-cups, think of how much plastic that would use. Think of how much plastic they could sell with it. Think of how much oil that would use. Think of how much oil they could sell with that. It's like, it seems like it's like literally, you're like, oh, it's not benign. And I was thinking about that for a second, but then all of a sudden, like, my brain takes this weed head, rabbit hole shit where I'm like, well, what if? No, it's actually a pretty big booming industry, dude. That's like as big as cocaine or something almost, even coffee. And so if you got something connected to it like that where you could guarantee a sale that goes along with every ounce or so, every ounce or two of coffee comes with this other thing that you can then sell. I mean, think of how much money is in that. You'd have to incentivize them to not make that much money.
There is a lot of money. I think that, so first, that point contradicts your original point of the working class people don't have time to think about these sort of things. And while you're right, they don't have time to think about it, do think about their budget. K-cups, historically, I don't know if this is still true, have been more expensive than a bag of coffee. So a bag of coffee would be much cheaper than buying. So that would be more of a luxury item. So it sort of contradicts that point. And then... Yeah,
well, hang on really quick, just to counter that. Just poor people will buy, doesn't mean they don't buy luxury items, dude. Just because you're poor doesn't mean that you won't spend more to eat steak, even though you shouldn't. Like, that brings into the undereducated not really being able to budget part. Some of these people can't do math. Like I said, when you work with like average Joe type people and you're like, oh man, a lot of these folks, like, there's a lot of people that can't read, bro. Like, I work with people that can't read. Like, you don't realize that like that's a thing until you like talk to somebody that can't read and you're like, oh fuck, dude. And like, there's just plenty of people out there that just can't read. Like, you can't even conceptualize that as a thing. I was like, oh really? Like, you just can't read? Like, that literally changes a lot of interaction with somebody. Like, you can't show them a text or like, what the fuck? This is crazy.
Yeah. I in no way think that people in the lower socioeconomic status do not buy luxury items. In fact, I know they do. What I'm saying is that they are not incentivized to. That factors into it, that it costs more to buy it. They realize that. And if they don't realize that, it still factors into it, because they can look at two different price tags and they can they'll consider, if they don't realize it the first time they buy it, they'll probably realize it the 12th time they buy it. They're like, all right, this is actually getting out of hand. And so there's that part. And then you talked about the amount of income a company could make based on the coffee industry, which is huge, but how much that is a multi-billion-dollar industry. So how many of those people are using K-Cups currently? And could you convince everyone to go to K-Cups? And you couldn't. But I mean, I see what you're saying. I still don't think the plastic is like a huge. It's going to be so much plastic that the oil companies are going to make more money from selling these oil byproducts. And I think that would eventually get a valued pushback from people like me who already agree with it.
Riddle me this really fast, dude. These K-Cups are the amount that it takes to create one is nothing. So they're selling them right now as the technology's kind of new for kind of an overpriced amount, dude. But that's just going to gradually come down because what is it? It's a little slip of tinfoil and a tiny little plastic cup. That's got to cost like what, 2 cents? And then you're just throwing some coffee in it. That's literally all it is. Right?
Well, it's also clean water. It's also electricity to run the factory. It's also the overhead to run that factory. It's all the labor you have to apply. It's really driving the cost currently. I don't think that's going to go down very much.
Okay, so I guess I didn't think about like how much it would cost to just make a little cup. But then again, I don't know. It just seems like if you just took, because what water goes into it? Just to cool machines in the factory or something, you mean?
Well, it's got to be clean water. You can't be putting shit water in it.
Oh, no. There's no water in a K-Cup.
Plastic's made with water. So if you've heard people who disagree with a lot of reusable water bottles, the amount of water it takes to make a water bottle is more water than is in the water bottle.
So what is the difference like when you're using water quality in plastic? Is that like do they have to say like have like a certain grade of water to make a water bottle?
Well, you can just imagine, I'm saying you can't ship in muddy water, right? Like you can't just get river water and run it in because you can imagine you can't have dirt in your plastic. Yeah. So I'm saying the water's got to be clean. So you at least have to clean this water in some method, which is expensive. And then after you clean it, you got to, and it's probably pretty fucking clean water. Like I would imagine it would be super clean, but I've never gotten that far. I know it needs to be clean. I don't know how clean.
Yeah. And then also just marketing and stuff like that. I just feel like I saw all these different K-Cups, dude, and this is kind of strange to me as well, is that the reason I feel like it's kind of at a price point is because if you go to the coffee aisle and you look at all the different coffees, they're all different prices. And when you go to the K-Cups, they're all $10 a pack. Every single one, unless you get a bigger pack. It's like it's $11, I think. But like the Cafe Bustelo, which is normally $2.50 for a block of it, and Starbucks, same price. So even if there was factories that factor in the cost, I mean, the sheer price of the coffee would fluctuate the price a little bit, I would feel like. Cafe Bustelo, I couldn't believe it when I was looking at it. I was like, why the fuck is Cafe Bustelo? They got K-Cups. Like, first off, I was thinking, like, that's just, it's like having a PBR, like, fucking, like, it's like the PBR of coffee, basically, dude, and, like, they put it in, like, the top shelf. It's like, what is
like
this?
Like a PBR growler.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you go to like some craft joint and they're like, "Yeah, I have just PBR in here." You're like, "Wait, this is just PBR." They're like, "Yeah, I know." It's like, "Wait, what? This is why is it so expensive?" It's like, I don't know. It's just that everything's that same price. So that does make me just, I don't know, curious or whatever that means. That why the fuck would it be? Why nothing goes lower than a certain price? Like, I wonder if they have like a regular, like if they all got in on that. Like, how do they decide that even?
So. In my head, it could be that the people making the K-Cup are setting the price for all of them. The people, I don't know if they patented that thing. So then the manufacturers have to go through one company to do it. That could be one thing. And then the other thing, I mean, that seems like the only thing. If what you're telling me is true, that they're all $10, it seems all like that would be, that there's someone with a patent who's forcing them, because there's no way, if you see Starbucks and Cafe Bustelo next to each other, they're both $10, and you have to buy it, you're never gonna buy Cafe Bustelo. Like, why? I
couldn't grasp. I was like, I'm not gonna get that. I literally got the dopest shit I could find. No, it's just like whatever the dankest one is, I guess. Like, what the fuck? Why is this an option? It was very vastly different coffee selection in these cups. All right, so yeah, I guess that all makes sense. I definitely don't think that they're a necessity. Like I said, I never did. I just was expounding on the idea that maybe they're just telling people to cut back on anything plastic. It's just like I don't know, man. It just seems so out of reach.
Well, I'm not a huge fan of regulation, but that is one method that you don't need to tell people to cut back. Europe has
business regulation, you mean?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of regulation, but it is one method to achieve an end. But Europe has been very successful in bringing recycling to be a part of their society, a cultural norm. They had cartoons that from a very young age. This is from Europeans that I lived with, where they would see the bad guys in these cartoons would be people who were not recycling or who didn't clean. Like before you recycle stuff, you need to wash it out with water real quick just to clean out the stuff. It'd be like someone did that, and they were like the bad guy in this in these cartoons and stuff. And so they indoctrinated people into this culture, and they created a culture through essentially advertisement, propaganda.
Well, the difference between I hate when anybody uses any type of European social reference to refer to America, because they just leave out the idea that America, we came here, dude, on some boats, we took this place over, and we've been treating it like an Airbnb ever since, dude, and we're going to keep treating it like a fucking rental car Airbnb type shit. It's just not our place, dude. We don't really own this place technically, so we just come in with that dick slinging mentality, dude. Americans just don't. They're not the same as Europeans, and the Europeans that come over here aren't the same as the Europeans that stay over there. It's just like there's a certain mentality with people that come to America are like they want to win, they want to succeed, they want to be the best, they want to be at the top. They think they can make something out of themselves. They think they can, and it's like this ambition that's associated with American society and culture that like just isn't associated with those other cultures so much. Where it's like, man, just if you think that some type of like social support systems are gonna work well in America that work well in Europe, I would find it extremely difficult to translate. Just even you'd have to obviously alter some things, but just to translate one of those methods or what do you call it? One of those frameworks for society and like try to run that here, or just the type of mentality that America is built off of and founded off of is one of stepping over another guy.
Then why are we seeing a revolution in corporate social responsibility and citizens in America requiring that these businesses that they run it more let's say socially responsible, that they run it more environmentally friendly. Really those two things, because the other part of it was economic, and they were always running it economically. So today, the consumer of many products in America requires that their company be both socially and environmentally responsible. So it doesn't fit with your narrative.
Yeah, but I mean, if that didn't, then why would we have any problems if they're all following the rules?
They're not following the rules. And
that's the point. So it's like the rules don't change anything. It's like, yeah, we put some rules in place. Well, it's like, yeah, man, if the people were going to follow the rules, we wouldn't need the rules.
And so, actually, in a lot of cases, they are following the rules. I think I misspoke.
I'm sure in a lot of cases. I mean, we're talking about we're not talking about the majority here. We're talking about a minority, but the minority is so influential. It's like the 1% to the 99%. The 1% is doing all the shit here. The 99%, it really does not matter when the 1% is controlling the resources and then therefore controlling the influence.
So it certainly doesn't pay for large businesses to blatantly break rules. And they can not follow, let's say maybe a lot of them don't follow the spirit of a law, but for the most part, they're going to follow the law. But my point is still that the people in America, many consumers are requiring businesses to do more than the law asks. And so that's in direct opposition to your dick-slinging American.
I mean, not necessarily, because, okay, I mean, you might be able to convince everybody to, yeah, we need to take, put some regulations on this shit, but it doesn't take away the ability to, or it doesn't take out the stepping over mentality. I mean, that just puts like a little bit of, they're trying to put a leash on it a little bit and keep it reined in. But it doesn't take that, like to get where all the money is to just decide that, yeah, we're going to have these social programs and everything's going to be great. I feel like it's just highly unlikely because of the way, like, where's all the money in these other countries? Well, it's probably in a way more usable position than it is in all these old guys' pockets like it is here.
It's more in old people's pockets in Europe and stuff. It's much older money.
I get that it's older money, but I'm saying it's in the pockets of people who are in a position to do something about that and not just in a position to just make their pockets bigger. Which I feel like a lot of what American politics is not just people worrying about politics, it's just people with a lot of money worrying about a lot of money, and politics is the way that they navigate that instead of it being the opposite way around. Where we use money and things like that to navigate the politics. We don't use the politics to navigate us making more money. Which there's got to be a flip side, because there's an inherent difference in these two societies. There's a reason we're not doing what they're doing already. And so it's like we got to establish what that is first before we can even look at the idea of taking something like that and it working here. Like, why isn't it working like that here already? Oh, shit, you're kind of cutting out on me there. Oh, there you go. There you go.
No,
Visually, not audio. You're good.
I totally agree that we're obviously not Europe.
Oh, hang on, bud. You're lagging out here for some reason. Our connection is kind of like you visually look crazy, and now it's kind of lagging your voice. Say something for me really quick.
Is it okay?
Now your voice is good. Visually, it's fucking super grainy. I don't know what's up with that.
I forgot to plug in my Ethernet cable. I'm on Wi-Fi. I'm gonna plug it in. This might fuck shit up.
That's definitely what it is, though. You've been a little bit less clear the entire time, and it's just sending less data over, I feel like, and that's why the Ethernet should clear us up here. It's already working better. Brilliant. You're literally getting clearer. It's crazy. Oh, wait. I can't hear you now. Now the voice is out. We're right in the middle of a good discussion, too, here. I'm learning shit. Now Sters is cut out. His microphone decided that this Ethernet cable is goddamn. There he goes. He's back.
Yeah, I have to restart Mumble when I connect the internet for some reason.
You know how it is, dude. Sometimes the computer, you just like, I'm not even gonna ask, dude. I'll just do it. Like, I don't want to know why I need to do this. I know it's way beyond anything. That's literally the future of humanity. It's just like, all right, whatever. We're just gonna deal with whatever the computers decide that we have to do. We got to deal with it. We have no choice later, man. I'm telling you.
Since restarted, yeah.
No, your computer's gonna be like, oh yeah, you want me to try on? Well, I don't know. Touch your toes really quick. You're like, God damn it. All right. It's like, oh, all right, faggot. Here you go. It's like, God damn, my computer's being a dick. Computer's an asshole today. He keeps fucking with me. My computer's a bully big brother computer. All right. So, all right, continue what you were saying. You were
I think I was talking about, so I totally agree with you that Europe is a different place and that not necessarily everything that works there works here. But what I was specifically talking about when I started this was a recycling program. And we already have a recycling program less successful as a cultural item than Europe. And I do believe that a propaganda could work just by doing the cartoons and the sort of things that these European people that I talk to saw
I remember
as children.
I remember the recycling cartoons when I was little. I remember that propaganda. I also remember seeing the Penn and Teller bullshit where they said that recycling doesn't work. I've read a lot of shit about recycling was a bunk program and it did not work as intended. And so people were wasting their time by trying to recycle. Now, I don't have all the research to back that up, but I off the top of my head here, obviously I'm not that well recited. I can barely remember where I put my fucking car keys in the morning. But I know I definitely heard. I watched that episode back in the day, but I definitely heard a lot of different arguments about how recycling kind of just it was a completely failed program, or it just didn't work at all. But as far as seeing the propaganda and stuff, I mean, I do remember seeing all that shit when I was a kid. I feel like I cared about it for a while. Huh?
Captain Planet.
Captain Planet. I remember Captain Planet. You're cutting back out again on me. We'll just give it a second here, but I did vaguely hear you say Captain Planet, which that definitely was a thing. I remember that guy. I just remember having like the blue bag that you put certain shit in, and I remember having different bins at like school and stuff where you could recycle. But I mean, dude, you could have a bin sitting right here and a bin sitting right next to it, and like if you go by it, man, the amount of shit that's not like the amount of just recyclable shit in the regular trash can is crazy still, dude. Even in like an environment where every kid gets exposed to the same amount of, you know, the 3 arrows that go in a triangle or whatever, and that's like the recycling sign, and you had to like literally like fucking do like school work about it and learn about it and shit. Even in that environment.
Did you do that at home?
What's that?
Recycle. Did you recycle at home?
Yeah, my mom still does to this day. I make fun of her about it because I'm like, this is not doing anything, dude. This is literally like, I mean, I love it. I tell her I love that she does it just because it just shows that like she gives a shit about something and she's taking a stand for herself, I guess. You know what I mean? But I just don't think in the bigger picture that little blue bag of random shit that she sends off, I'm like, I feel like they just dump that shit and it all goes to the same place. Like, I feel like they just throw it all in the same fucking truck, like, and they're like, yeah, whatever, fucking throw that shit. Like, I feel like the garbage men don't even give a fuck.
Yeah,
that's just me being a cynic and being goofy.
Yeah,
hang on, brother. You're cutting out really bad on us right now. Yeah, it's inaudible. Yeah, video and audio here. I don't know what is going on. You are lagged all the way. That was the first time I've seen anything like this in all my years of technical difficulties dealing with them. Not being involved with them, but fixing them and things like that. And I've never actually... Oh, now he's coming back in. See, this is an anomaly for me. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
No, he's there. There he is. So now you sound good. Now we're back.
All right, hopefully that works.
Yeah, sorry about that. You're coming in clear again now.
Probably.
Yep, visually and audioly. And I could tell that it's your internet because it's coming in audioly. I love saying it. I could tell that it's your internet because it's happening in Mumble and in Hangouts because you're
video.
Yeah, both of it at the same time. Yeah, I don't know what's up with that, bro. So anyways, if you could remember what we were talking about.
I was saying that I've never seen the city at least bothers to send around 2 different trucks to pick up the different ones. It's not like it's the same truck.
I'm just
and then the trash. Like, they at least goes a little bit of trouble to put
the 2 trucks come by. It'd just be funny if you followed them and you're like, wait, they're going to the same goddamn place. It's like, what the fuck? It's the same 2 guys driving the other truck. they just drive around one truck, get in the other truck, and then go do the same rounds again after that. It'd be hilarious.
Yeah, you look closely and it's like black on one side, but then if you look at the other side, it's like a split face and it's blue on the other side. And it's the same one that comes around.
What? They just go the other way on your street?
Yeah.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. What? Go do the whole route in reverse, okay? The other side. Make sure nobody sees the other side of the truck. We'll catch on. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. You haven't seen anything about the heard all that shit about recycling?
I mean, I know that overall it's a very expensive program. I know that a lot of these recycling programs have this through where you put like 8 different types of recycling into one bin.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a bad idea to me, and I've never really thought it worked. And I've definitely seen myself put things in the recycling and like, I bet this gets thrown away later, but I'm gonna make them do it.
Yeah, it's also very. I mean, it's just very anti-capitalism to say that everybody needs to have one of something in their house that they can reuse and never need to buy again. It's like fucking. Who wants to make the product that everybody never needs to buy again? It's like it goes against the whole nature of the economic game here. It's like, so if we all had the reusable K-cup thing, it's like you're eliminating a need there. So it's like to provide every single body. Like it would just be hard, I feel like. I'm sure you could. You know what I mean? Come up with a non-disposable version of just about everything.
I mean, let's talk about one of the most disposable things. Toilet paper is actually a highly unattractive industry on the whole.
Yeah.
The profit margins are very low on toilet paper because people don't give a fuck. They don't give a shit.
Yeah. What do you mean they don't give a shit about like paying a lot for it or what?
Yeah, for the most part, people will buy generally the cheapest. Like they're not not going to go like straight one ply gas station, but they'll within reason, it's going to be the cheapest that they can get. And the profit margins on toilet paper, they don't care about brands for the most part. One of those things, and you're literally never reusing it. And the profit margins are extremely low. It's not an attractive industry. So that's not the only thing that determines whether or not industry is attractive.
I'm just saying, as an overarching rule, I mean, it would just you'd be eliminating a lot of shit if you didn't have anything that was like reusable shit. Like there was no paper cups or anything like that. It's just people like the idea of being able to throw something away and not having to do any work, dude. And it's like to eliminate that, you'd have to instill your work ethic into every single person in America. Do you think you can do that?
Yes, but one person at a time.
Yeah, well, guess what? One person at a time. Literally, people are fucking way too fast for that, buddy. There's no way you can keep up.
Once I convert them, they go convert someone else. And then those two people are now converting two more people. Now, next thing you know, network effects, I'm done.
Yeah, dude. What's in it for them? It's like, your life's going to be great. Trust me. I'm telling you, man. Everybody's going to be like, man, fuck this guy, dude.
No, I'll just tell them that's how you make Bitcoin.
That's how you make Bitcoin.
no one gets it anyways.
No, you can just say, like, I'm paying you in Bitcoin. All right, you got some. There you go. Go ahead. All right, get out of here.
Go ahead.
Bitcoin. No, Bitcoin's really small. Here. That's why it's called
3.
Bitcoin. It's very tiny. Have a little bit.
There's 3. Check your account.
Check your Bitcoin account. All right. Well, that was an interesting discussion. We got pretty deep on that, man. There was something else. There's a bit of news I wanted to bring up here. While I'm trying to think about it, do you have anything you want to talk about?
I did, but I'm so off track right now. That was just the left field conversation right there. I'm still deep in this the recycling hole.
Yeah, it came out of nowhere. That was good though. I mean, I think we just came to the conclusion that man, we got to figure something out. You know what I mean? Obviously, but I think we just have two different approaches that we're looking at it here, and it's weird. Like I normally wouldn't be on the right wing side of this argument, which I think I technically am. If I guess would be just like we got to figure out. But I don't think they even give any fucks. So I think I'm like in some other realm where it's like, no, we need like some guy who makes the anti-doomsday device. You know what I mean? We need like a superhero, smart guy type shit. Some people need to come through and figure out like a way to get rid of all this shit efficiently and to make money out of that, like to turn it into something else. You know what I mean? Like there's got to be a way. Like they figure out how to do all kinds of other dumb shit. It's like I'm sure you can figure out a way to turn all this garbage muck, like whatever, melt it down, and it's got to make some new type of thing, right? Think about it, bro. If you melted down just a giant block of pure trash, okay? All random trash, just melting it down, dude, you're going to get like a new element.
Not a new element, but yeah, I've thought about that.
No, it could be if you melt everything down and you get all those different things in there, dude. You don't know what you're getting. You're getting biological matter. You're getting diapers. You're getting metal shit. You're getting fucking plastics. You're getting all this stuff. Cloth. You're getting fucking paper towels. All this shit, dude. Straight up dookie. You melt all that down, it's going to give you something that's never existed on the planet before, dude. It's new element. It's a new element.
But it's not a new element. It might be a new compound.
No,
not a new element.
It's a new element.
No,
there's earth, there's wind, there's water, there's fire, and there's trash. Pure bars.
No, I've thought about that a lot. I've always thought it'd be super cool to go, 10,000 years in the future when these large places where we are the dumps essentially have been compacted down, and you know how oil was made, right, from dinosaurs and plants, really. And it got compacted underneath the earth and made the oil. Like, what happens to the dumpsters or dumps, huge dumps in the future when they've been compacted for thousands of years with all that trash and stuff you're talking about? Like, what happens there?
It creates like a sludge demon that, like, when you disturb it. If you go down too deep, you dig too deep and disturb it, it bursts forth out of the ground and wreaks havoc on the planet, dude. Yeah, it's a sludge, dude. The Earth is angry. It's created sludge demons. And they're just fucking giant things just made of pure garbage and rage. Pure trashy rage.
Dude, I learned about these blue pallets. Have you ever seen a blue pallet before?
Like a forklift pallet?
Yep, forklift pallet.
Just a blue one?
A blue one.
No.
Turns out that there's this company that's revolutionized the pallet industry.
Okay.
So originally, pallets, right? They're super cheap to make, and they were mostly the whole industry. And they're so cheap, it'd be more expensive to ship them around. So there's never been like one company that blows up and makes all the pallets, because it's just cheaper for a local company to make a couple pallets, give them to the people, right? And so there's also two types of pallet. The traditional pallet, you can only pick it up from one way and it's blocked the other way. But there's a type of pallet called the block pallet where you can pick it up from either side. Okay. And so this Australian company comes to America, and they bring this pallet, the block type pallet, where you can pick it up from both sides, and they're trying to sell it to new companies. The reason that traditional companies don't make the block pallet is because it costs around $20 to make, as opposed to around $5 to make or you have to sell it. The price point for a company to buy it is $20 for a block pallet, and they'd have to buy a typical pallet around $5. So 4 times more expensive. Why would you buy the block pallet?
Well, because it's more efficient, so you save money on people moving shit, maybe?
Right, but it's a small efficiency gain. It's not too big.
Okay.
And so this Australian company comes, and they start trying to sell, or they're trying to pitch that they have these block pallets that they want them to start using, and they're sort of pushing the efficiency thing that you just talked about, but they also but then they said, well, we're not actually going to sell it to you. We're going to rent it to you. We own the pallet, and so you ship it wherever you need to go, and then you let us know wherever you're shipping it, and once it gets there, we take the pallet back. We own the pallet at all times.
So it's like a pallet U-Haul.
Yeah, except they come to wherever you leave it. Like, you can't just. I wish I could leave the U-Haul at my house and they just come get it. But yeah.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying.
Pallet, you're right. It's a pallet U-Haul.
Gotcha.
And so they set it up like that, and it was a hard sell at first, but essentially the easiest way to tell the story is that they went to Costco, and Costco sort of looked at it and they said, hey, we see that we can save a little bit of time by having these types of pallets. But when you're as large of an operation as Costco, that little bit of time gets multiplied. And so then Costco required all of their suppliers to bring it. I think the company is called CHEP, C-H-E-P. And that's probably why I was saying the word Chet earlier. So CHEP is the name of the company. And they basically have to have that type of pallet. And so now that you've heard about these blue pallets, I promise you're going to start seeing them everywhere.
That was the whole culmination of this?
Yep.
What in the fuck, dude? You just had me on a whole thing. I was like, whoa, what does this all mean? It just means I'm going to see a lot? It just means they're cool?
Well, it also means, so when they did that, they revolutionized the industry. So
you didn't have a point?
Well, I had that point that you're going to see them everywhere. And then I also have a point that...
It's just so random, dude. Pallets... Hey, just so you know, bud, you're going to start seeing a lot of these different kind of pallets around. Nobody thinks about pallets ever, or looks at them, or cares. Nobody's going to notice that still. I'm definitely not going to notice the new pallets, Sterling.
You're going to notice the blue pallets. You're going to
be like, hey. Those blue pallets. I will now. Now I'm going to be like, man, those blue pallets Sterling was talking about. Those are pretty interesting, I guess.
Check about your local grocery store.
I was interested in the tale of these pallets. So only like a big company could benefit off of the pallets.
So they revolutionized the industry, and so they have a huge logistics thing. That was one thing, but essentially, what this story shows is that this industry of pallets, they were invented at the same time as the forklift, and since the invention of the forklift, they've never been improved. It's been this little industry, and then what this shows is that with a little bit of innovation, these guys came and showed, okay, we're actually going to rent these to you, and then we're going to keep track of them and come pick them up. they revolutionized the whole industry and took over. They took over.
Yeah, but you're talking about revolutionizing pallets. It's like this. It's like the dumbest, simplest object ever. It's like, oh yeah, we added an extra side to this shit. It's like, oh yeah. I mean, you didn't revolutionize cars. It's not like Tesla.
But
Like, it's not like he revolutionized the way everybody's gonna be like not even driving. He revolutionized transportation. You're talking about a guy that came up with a new kind of pallet, man. Get the fuck.
He didn't even come up with the new pallet. The pallet had been around.
No,
it just cost too much, right? But they found a way to make the
Sounds like a joke you're trying to make, like, and then he revolutionized the pallet industry. What am I watching? What? I leave the TV on and fall asleep, and now it's like I woke up and it was like how it's made just went off, and now it's like, and then you can hear about how this guy revolutionized the pallet industry. Coming up next.
Here's the thing. I'm super happy that I could keep you intrigued long enough in my pallet story to get to the end to realize the revolution of the pallet
is nigh. It's coming, bro.
You're
good. Hey, just so you know, I've been to the Costco, and they're coming. I've been to the.
They're here.
They're here. That's so funny. You see, it just takes some certain minds. You know, somebody comes in from out of town and they revolutionize pallets, bro. Just like that.
It's the whole pallet industry.
The entire paper plate industry was thrown on its head.
You know, you see these jokes in like I know in Parks and Rec, but in other places where you hear about these weird organizations. Modern Family is a big one. They have like the cabinet because their closet, whatever. Those things are real. Like they have the closet because her father runs a closet business. Those things are real. Have you seen Modern Family?
No, I've never seen it.
In it, the main characters, well, it's all like one family, but the older dad guy who's married to the lady with the big boobs, he has
Sweet. All right.
He has
right on. Rock on, Dad. Sweet.
I always say that to make people mad, but he owns a closet business, and essentially you hear about these closet conferences and stuff, and it's sort of like a big joke to them, but that sort of stuff is real. Like there are really shipping container conferences. Those things actually happen. So there's whole little
like a Days In. They don't happen anywhere cool. They just like, we all get the same booth at Denny's. That's when we have our conference. We meet up for the pallet conference. It's just you meet up at the pallet conference. It's just like, we're gonna need the party room at the fucking El Monterey Mexican restaurant, please.
Trying to tell you it's real, and you won't.
We're renting a DJ for the conference.
You gotta understand these things are huge. These things are big.
Hey, could you guys maybe quiet down the trivia night in the other room? We're trying to have our fucking annual pallet conference in here, okay? And nobody's taking it seriously. You guys are doing karaoke right outside, and it's kind of loud. Just saying. I mean, they've done the cha-cha slide twice, and
look, these people are bigger than you think, and you won't let go of the stereotype. You've got the Chet stereotype of the Chet and the Chad dude bro stereotype of the cabinet makers and the shipping container people and the closet conferences of the world.
Hey man, you know, Amish people have been making cabinets for a long time, and then some fucking Australian guy came through and revolutionized cabinets. It doesn't mean that it's something that anybody gives a fuck about, bro. Because it's not even. Why do I care about cabinets? I don't give a fuck
for all of 2 minutes. You cared for 2 minutes.
I was in for a while, dude. No, because I thought it was all leading to. I thought this was like it was leading to something. No, like I said, it was interesting. And now I know to look out. Now I know to keep an eye peeled.
And it does show, right, that even at something that you think can't be improved, can be improved.
I guess, but that's not like. It's not. It's more or less of like how simple it is that they improved it, and that's impressive. It's just more like, it's such a benign item that like why like nobody would care to improve it. Like, there's no incentive to improve it. They're like, man, it's a fucking pallet. Nobody cares about pallets. And so it's like, yeah, I guess it just took somebody in Australia to be like, hey, I kind of care about it. It took some weird fucking guy in Australia that was like, I'm really into pallets. And he's like, I'm going to design a new, what kind of, hang on for just a second. Can we do like a quantum leap and explore the guy? who fucking decides that like I'm gonna redesign the whole pallet. I love pallets. I've loved pallets since I was a kid. My dad worked in a warehouse, and I used to play on the pallets. And then one day I knew there's got to be a better way. Pop,
You didn't
hey
reinvent
Pop.
the pallet.
Once I tried out my first prototype, and my pop was doing 10 more pallets an hour. It was amazing.
The box pallet has existed for a long time. He came up with the new business model that made it a more viable option.
Then go to the guy who created the box pallet. Just say to invent something like that. What kind of weird individual?
There's a bunch of people. A lot of people have tried over time to improve the pallet, and that's the thing is that they continually failed. This is a story.
My last regret was that I failed to reinvent the pallet.
Do you know that people today are still working on different types of meat, different cuts of meat, say for the cow, where they cut the meat in a specific way, and then they want to patent it.
Yeah, patent the cut.
You can patent the cut of meat.
Really?
And so there's literally people today that every day they wake up with different slices of meat and they try to create a new way to cut it so that they can create a patent on this meat and then sell it.
Why can't you patent a haircut?
I don't know. Macklemore did.
Did he? No, he patented just as being an asshole. He pretty much took that. He pretty much took the douche card. Like nobody's going to be look douchier than this guy. He's so strange. He's such a weird guy. He just looked so unlikable to me. I just couldn't. I would never bother listening to anything he said. You know, it's one of those things. I just don't like you. I don't know why. Sorry, buddy. Sometimes that happens in life. You know, I'm sure people don't like me all the time.
Buddy, no gold chain.
Hey, buddy, listen, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. Okay, I don't know what to say.
No gold chain for you.
Buddy,
no deals.
Please.
Full price.
Please.
Full
no gold
price.
chain. Please. No gold chain. Full price. Full price. No deals,
For you?
No deals. For you, full price.
For you, full price.
That'd be a funny character. He's just a salesman that he's like, he acts like he's giving you deals all the time, but he's just not. And it's just like, all right, thanks. He's like, you know what, buddy, come over here. You know what? You've been a good guy. I talked to you this whole time. For this, I sell that to you full price, okay? He's like, I sell that to you for $9.95. He's like, it is $9.95. All right, you're pushing me hard here, but full price. How about that?
How about that?
Like, I guess. All right, so yeah, that was the direction that you went in. Now I really don't know. I don't know how. What the fuck, dude? You're like, well, I did have this pallet bit prepared. I could bust that out real quick. I did some weird pallet research earlier. It's just a weird thing. Where did you find this information out? I kind of want to dig deeper into that. I want to get into the mind of the pallet head.
It was a NPR podcast.
Okay.
On economics or money.
Okay. NPR's got a lot of podcasts. You're like turning into like an old white guy, dude. Eventually, you're just gonna be like, well, I just listen to a lot of NPR. I try to avoid. I like to listen to musicals. It's just funny, like the amount of stuff that's going into your ears all the time, and then the stuff that's going into my ears all the time are just two vastly different things, bro.
Well, I know. Well, the things that go into my ears are very strange to most people. They're because I will sit through a pallet thing because I honestly think it's cool, but I also realize the value of listening to these stories for random situations to retell, and I feel fully vetted in the sense that you were interested for all of 2 minutes in that story.
Like I said, it was interesting. You should just write like a. I thought you were writing that into the whole recycling thing and like economics, like we were talking about with that. And I was like, oh, I thought it was going to tie back. That's why it really threw me for a loop because I thought it was going to all tie back to the recycling and economic shit we were talking about earlier, which I guess it kind of fit into it.
It does now that you're trying to, but no, it's just a side bit.
Yeah, that's why I just didn't realize I was getting a little titty.
If I was to go write this down, I'd work it into my whole bit, and you get the full price buddy. He works his way in there.
Full price buddy, full price buddy, full price buddy, ninja shoe shawty, and full price buddy.
Oh, did you make that?
No, but now I got two things. Now I got a double hook.
Yeah, full price
ninja
buddy.
Ninja shoe shawty and full price buddy. Listen, about you do it, I give it to you, I think about it. All right, fine, full price. Go ahead, take it. You know what? Full price. Take it, but give me the full, the full amount.
Take it from me, but for full price.
No, take it. You're throwing it out and be like, but no, give me the money first. But no, but take it. You know you want it. I mean, I don't want it. Go ahead. I mean, money, the full price. But yeah, I don't want it. Go. Just being so weird, passive aggressive, just confusing the shit out of a guy. You'd be so fucking weirded out, man. Especially if he was like super intimidating looking too.
Yeah, he's like, "Can I leave? I don't want to buy this.
Can I
have
leave?
to buy it Look, I have to buy it."
I read some article about, or like a fucking grazed an article about how fucked up it's gonna be for news and stuff like that with the bot generated articles. And I happened to I was like looking for some information on a game or something the other day, and I went on some website and I was just reading it, dude, and I was like, for a second I was like, this is like someone that doesn't know how to read English. And then I was like, no, it's close, but it's not like messing up like someone would mess up if they just didn't know English, man. You know what I mean? Like where they use certain language, like you can just tell when somebody's like using English that they were taught, basically. But this was like just something different, dude. The syntax or whatever it was just strange when I read it, and I'm pretty sure that they, for some weird reason, like they created a site to get you to click on it to go there, but there's really nothing there, and all the writing on the site is like generated by a machine or something, dude. Because like it almost makes sense, like it gives it a couple keywords or something, or I don't understand, but it just. And then I saw the article a couple days later, and I was like, "Oh man, I think I got botted, bro." Just like how much fucking shit. Like it's so hard to differentiate that. It's Wild West on the internet, bro. Fucking, how good are they gonna get, dude? 5-10 years, it's gonna be unnoticeable. It's just gonna be fucking. You can just put all kinds of articles out there, dude. But then you start shitting them into people's Facebooks. Bam!
So
everybody's reading bullshit.
What bot site did you? Can I see this bot site? You know what
I don't even remember what it was, and I don't want to go back to it just in case. Who knows? You know what I mean? It's gonna steal my video game password, bro.
It makes me.
It's probably a phishing site or something. It's something bad, obviously, or else why would they make it? You know what I mean? For games like that, they like try to steal people's shit and stuff.
Did you listen to the Radiolab podcast on the Russian bot and Russian media house?
Vaguely. Maybe
you did or didn't?
I don't know. You'll have to remind me of it, dude. I listen to so many podcasts. It's like I couldn't even tell you. It's like that's maybe fucking 50. That's maybe 50, 60 podcasts ago, bro. What was it about?
Essentially,
and I'll tell you.
There's this Russian guy who became sort of the face outside of Russia.
I did hear that one just recently. I was thinking back to some other one that I was getting confused. Okay, so that guy fucking was just basically, and a bunch of people, right? There was like the
whole bunch of people, yeah.
Yeah, a bunch of people that like got sent to like do some weird anti-Hillary rally, like on the back of a truck. They like built up a cage and stuff like that, and then they had these actors who some random person called them, and all these people. That's another thing, dude. Like listening to that, I was like, "What you people?" Like they were surprised, dude. They were baffled at how stupid those people were. Like the people on Radiolab were baffled because they literally just some random guy called these people's houses and convinced them to go get in a truck with dressed up as Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton and ride around in a cage while people yelled "lock her up" and like this whole fucking thing. And this guy agreed to just drive him around. And he was like, "I was willing to go to New York City." I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And like nobody met anybody, nobody knew any of these people, and the interviewers are asking them this, and they're like, "You mean you didn't even care? Like, you didn't think about that?" And they're like, "No, I never thought it would not be the person I was talking to. Like, it never even crossed their minds that it could potentially not be that person that they're talking to, dude."
Well, why would you do it anyways?
I'm just saying, man. Just think of the sheer amount of fucking crazy people or fucking dumbass people that are out there, dude, just chilling. They're everywhere, bro. People that would want to get duped for something like that, dude. Jesus Christ! Like, you imagine what else you could get them to believe, man.
You know, I was looking at some scams today, and what I learned.
You're such a fucking weirdo, dude.
I noticed there was this guy asking this question essentially, where he had owned stock in a company. The company went under. He wrote off that company, but now he's being contacted by a law firm saying, "Hey, we want to buy your shares of this defunct company." And he was sort of talking about the scam, and people were going over with him why it was a scam. And essentially, what they were saying is that some of the things in the letter were made it so obvious that it was a scam if you looked into it. But what the people in the website were saying is that the people who wrote the letter did that on purpose. Because what they want is not the person who's going to throw off red flags. They want the most reward for the least risk. And so if you get someone who reads this initial thing and doesn't throw up any red flags, you're like, all right, if they still go ahead, like, we got them. Like, we're good. So they like throw up a couple.
They're really fucking dumb. It just says at the end, continue on if you are completely fucking stupid. Just to make sure you're dumb as hell. And it's like, yeah, I guess I'm dumb as hell. I don't know what goddamn, I'm trying to get to the bottom of this. This is dumb. And it's actually it. They're calling it, this is fucking stupid. No, this thing's dumb as shit. This website's dumb as fuck. Whatever. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it. Fucking dummies. Some fucking idiot wrote this. Whatever. Oh. It's just like, you are a complete asshole if you continue, but okay. ... Are you sure, dummy? God. You're a dummy. I'm not stupid. I know what you're trying to do, bitch. He's like getting in an argument with it. Sorry. Was I making a point, or was I just arguing with a computer as a dummy? I don't know what I was. My whole goal was there.
The point was that those dummies exist, and there's ways. Yeah. What was interesting to me about reading that was that I had never realized that I thought I was smart for pointing those things out, but I'm not real. I mean, I'm marginally smart. When you see those things, they're actually partially put there on purpose so that they don't have to deal with you. They're trying to weed out the people who will see bullshit eventually. They want the dummies.
They're like, hey, bro, don't disregard this if you're not super dumb as shit. Continue on. If you are, continue on. And you're like, what? It's just super blunt and to the point. Just so it's just literally a paragraph of like trying to convince you not to. Like, please stop reading this. God damn it, you're an asshole. We're gonna rob you. We don't want to do it, but you're gonna make us steal some money from you if you continue reading.
It's too easy.
It's too easy. Please stop. Please. We're begging you to just not make us do this to you. All right, fine. We're gonna do it. All right, go ahead. Quit hitting yourself. That's fucking crazy. Yeah, man, this whole bot shit, it's going to be very influential here, but it's going to seep in. Like, it's going to do a lot of damage before anybody notices. You know? Shit's getting real funky now. Shit's getting real weird, bro. I feel like everybody's, like, banking on this Trump, what do you call it? Impeachment, and it's like, y'all can get the fuck out of here with that. Doubt that's going to happen, dude.
I doubt that's going to happen. I actually think it'd be bad. I don't really... As much as I don't like him, I don't want him to be impeached.
Yeah, you don't want fucking Pence in there.
Yeah, I don't want Pence in there, and I really don't want him impeached, because if he gets impeached, it's going to give more fuel to the fire of these conspiracy theorists who basically got him these rubes that are the dummies getting duped out in the fields to drive trucks.
That God, these fucking dummies only elected the most influential person in almost the entire world. No big deal. They don't matter. It's just like, man, yeah, but you gotta understand, man, there's a lot of smart people out there trying to make change, dude, but it's like, yeah, bro, you just can't. They outnumber you. They're like, it's like 300, bro. There's no way.
The zombie population. The voting zombie population.
Bro, it's insane though, right? To think about that. Like, there's nothing you can do. No matter how much you try, you'll never be able to fight them off. Like, you know what I mean? Like, no matter how badass you are, bro, they just keep coming. And you're like that soldier that's just like, like in that one battle or something, fight White Walkers, and then, like, you get, like, fucking 30 of them in, and then eventually they start overwhelming you, and they overcome you.
You make them epic. In my version, they're just the Minecraft.
Yeah, I was making it way more fucking intense, dude. I was trying to make them the skeletal White Walkers, but yeah, I like that they're just fucking, and then they're just not even trying to get you. They're just like stumbling over you. You just get stomped out by them. It's like you went to get a Tickle Me Elmo. That's your death. Tickle Me Elmo. Death by Tickle Me Elmo stomping. That's the old Black Friday stomp out. It's a classic death. Classic American death. Right? That's one that's pretty unique to our country, dude. The grocery store human trampling.
Black Friday, man.
Do you like when you're trampling somebody, dude? Like you think about that, man. If you think about it, fairly, just dive into the minds of everybody walking. You stepped somebody, a bunch of people stepped, and they knowingly heard them going and they stepped on them. Think of how many people you're in that horde. No, it's that gigantic stampede mentality where all those people are moving, and then you literally there's people that probably live with that shit in their head right now that they fucking stepped on somebody that was dying underneath them, dude, and took part in it. I don't know what you would do.
Can't. For me, I can't stop. Yeah, exactly. You can't stop because you're getting. If you stop, you're down there.
Well, I'm going to give you a classic Christian response to that, which is to go directly to one of my go-tos, usually crowd surf. You just go up, okay? You can't go down. You got to go up. So you jump up, you launch off the shoulders, and then you're pretty much swim. If you just swim it out, you could swim till you get to the end of it and make it, and then maybe even resuscitate and be a hero, but I doubt it's going to matter at that point. Can you imagine getting trampled to death? How many people would it take to step on you, do you think? Hang on. How many people do you think it would take to step on you before you died?
This is just continuously moving over. No one ever stops, right?
Yeah, how would that kill you?
Well, you're going to crush your ribs, and then after you crush your ribs, you're probably going to step on you, and you're not going to be able to breathe.
Oh, yeah, dude. Because they're pushing off of you, yeah. Like, they're probably, like, stomping, too. Like, when you're running through like that, you're charging with all those people. You're, like, having to keep your legs up. I mean, I'm sure people were just, like, just stomping on the ground with this motherfucker, dude. You'd be getting killed. Oh,
dirty
God.
bathroom shoes, just right on, like that matters.
Yeah. Dirty bathroom shoe flip-flops.
Do you ever think about
somebody
that?
drives a rascal scooter over you, you're like, what the fuck?
That shit's always bothered me with shoes. Like, I see them and I put them on, I'm like, oh yeah, shoes, whatever. But then I think about all the nasty bathrooms I end up in my shoes, and I'm like, oh man, that's technically kind of still there.
It's going everywhere with you, dude.
Yeah,
shoes
so
are gnarly.
Right, every nasty gas station bathroom you've walked in with your shoes.
Yeah, man.
You bring it home. You bring it home with you. It doesn't stay there.
You bring it home with you. You know, they say like don't like close the lid when you flush the toilet because like the dookie particles fly around.
What?
You ever heard that before? Like if you flush the toilet with your dookie just sitting out and you have the seat up, that like particles of dookie will shoot up when it does the initial, hitting the water.
I think that's a Hillary Clinton liberal agenda trying to get us to shut the toilet for these women.
They're trying to get, these women trying to shut the toilet. All right. Well, I was thinking about that. If that's the case, like my hair's like a mop for dookie particles, just soaking it up. Like we're just walking around covered. Everybody's covered in dookie particles.
Dude, that's why I swim in a chlorine pool for an hour every morning.
That's
why. That's why.
We'll find out what the effects of that are in another fucking probably 30, 40 years, maybe, I think.
Well, I think there's already been people doing it. For the most part, they seem fun.
Yeah. Yeah, when did they start putting chlorine in pools? It's been happening for a long time, I'm sure.
Happened for a while, but what's interesting is they used to use gas to do it. There'd be chlorine gas outside of pools and schools, and so they wouldn't have it in like the tablet form today or the liquid form. So like sometimes there'd be a chlorine gas leak. The kids would be like, they'd be like, yeah, because that shit. It does break sometimes. Kids be like, what do you mean we can't swim? It's chlorine gas. It's kind of a war weapon. It just happens to be the way that we make the pool clean also.
Do you remember that time that train wrecked near where we used to live? And like I think it leaked chlorine. And they had to evacuate a whole fucking town, dude. Because like a big tanker of that shit, like a train derailed and like a big tanker fucking ruptured. Chlorine gas tank, and some people died and shit from it. Look at
South Augusta.
I think it was chlorine. train crash, Graniteville, South Carolina. Misaligned railroad switch caused it to. One of the tank cars, loaded with 90 tons of chlorine, ruptured, releasing about 60 tons of the gas. About 30% of the load was recovered by industrial responders. 9 people died, 8 at the time of the accident, and 1 later as a result of chlorine inhalation. And at least 250 people were treated for chlorine exposure. In total, 5,400 residents within 1 mile of the crash site were forced to evacuate for nearly 2 weeks while hazmat teams and cleanup crews decontaminated the area. That's crazy, dude.
That's super crazy.
A whole mile. Everybody's gonna get the fuck out, dude.
Well, sex is the people that
dude,
die.
what if you live like right on the edge of that mile though? Do you think you'd be like, I mean, should we leave too? They're like, no, it's cool technically right here, but like right there isn't cool. This is like, are you sure that's enough, man? I don't know. I'd be fucking pretty skeptical.
What if you were just playing video games and all of a sudden you're like, it's like a pool.
It smells
And
like
that
a
was-
pool. And that was a rat?
That was a rat, dude.
It'd be a great way to die, dude. It sounds awesome. It sounds like legit as fuck. You guys playing some games, and I was just like, is that a pool? Fucking hell yeah, man. I'm down with that. That was good. I got easy. I'm out. I'm just like done. Playing video games was probably high as shit. Didn't even know what was going on. Thought I was about to go swimming. I was stoked.
Is that a pool?
I was stoked. I thought I was about to go dive in. I was like, is there a pool here?
They must be installing a new pool. It's got that new pool smell.
I thought we had an indoor pool in my apartment complex. I was really excited, and then bada bing. Before you know it, you're done. You're done.
Bada bang.
I'm sure chlorine inhalation is a way fucked up way to die.
Yeah, I think you like shit everything out basically. Your body just says, "What the fuck was that?" And then
It's probably really bad. I can only imagine.
yeah, which is why you can't. Yeah, it makes sense because that's why you wouldn't be able to use it in war. It's like a. Isn't that weird? We have like rules about how we can kill each other. Can't use chlorine gas. Like that's not cool, dude.
That is not cool.
Not chill, bro.
Can you flay someone? Is that in the rule book?
I think you can't. No.
It's
got to be like it's got to be just straight up murder. You can't get weird with it. As soon as you get weird with the murder at all, then you fucked up.
Yeah. As soon as you get weird with it.
Yeah. No filleting. But no
blow a
sodomy.
kiss? If you blow a kiss, that's kind of weird.
Yeah, that's not gonna kill somebody.
Yeah, but and then you kill them. You blow a kiss at him and you kill him. You're like, what?
I think it's okay.
He said, you blew a kiss at him. It was technically a kiss of death, which is against the rules here. If you look in the
Check
rule
the
book,
rule.
do not no psychological psych outs.
Check the murder rule book.
So like you can't stab somebody to death in like the trench. Say you get it and you're in a fucking
can't.
random situation and you just gotta stab the fuck out of them, but then you get kind of crazy and you start stabbing the shit out of him. You stab him like 50 times.
You heard
What
Dan Carlin
happens
about how
then?
they won't do that, right? They won't stab each other.
Yeah, sometimes.
A lot of times.
There's a crazy guy. What if a guy's crazy and he wants to stab? That's why he's in the military. And then he stabs the shit out of this guy.
Stab.
Does he
Well, what's
get in
his
trouble?
name? What's his name first? This guy that wants to stab. It's gonna change everything. It all depends on his name. Yeah, the stabby guy who's crazy, who joined the military to stab someone.
His name's Dirk Stickler.
All right. Yeah.
Not only is that just a funny sounding name, but it's also makes sense. So there you go.
So Dirk. All right. So what was Dirk doing? What was the question about Dirk?
Dirk Sticks. Dirk Stickler.
Sticks.
Dirk Sticklers.
Stevinsky.
Dirk Nowitzki. Is that a guy?
No, I said Stevinsky.
Oh, Stevinsky. Dirk Stevinsky. That's could be his name. Dirk Stevinsky. Actually, they just call me Stevinsky. It's cool. It's kind of my thing.
I don't love it like Dirk.
It's kind of my thing. I'm not really Dirk. Well, no, Dirk means knife. I'm pretty sure it's a type of knife. So that's why I'm saying Stickler.
Nah, I see what you did.
That all makes sense. Yeah. Whatever. It wasn't that great. Anyway, back to stick, stabbing, slopping, slapping. You got anything else to talk about? I'm thinking about this. I need to go eat this fucking thing, man. I made it. It's been baked. I'm kind of hungry right now.
Go for it, man.
Do you want to just pause for a second here, kind of, or you can just talk for a second? I'll just go cut a piece out and then I'll just eat it and talk. I'm down to do that. Or do you want to go?
Is it 9?
It's
It's
it's 3:46 in the Christian's made up imaginary time.
It's
You do the
actually
math on that.
It's 21:01 if you want to do the math on that.
Yeah, Sterling makes you do math every time he tries to set up an appointment with you. You got to go through this trouble of going through whatever time zone, time frame, measurement system he feels like using at the moment.
No, I think we did a solid whatever we did, and I'm happy with it.
All right, yeah, me too. That was a good one. That was I learned a lot of shit there too. I can't wait to re-listen to it and just fucking try to remember some of the stuff you said. Yeah, all my stuff is just coming off of like, you know, intuition based, and your stuff, you actually have, you know, you're backing things up with facts and stuff like that. But
and so everyone look out for those blue pallets. I think that's the big takeaway message.
And the main thing here that really everyone needs to know is to just keep an eye out for the blue pallets, and just know that, you know, if there's something in life that's really stupid and simple, and you're like, you know, you can redefine that whole thing, okay? And your mark on the world could be that, like, you made, like, the newest kind of fucking, I don't know, like placeholder mat. No, there's a placeholder mat that never gets dirty. It's something like that. It's just something. Oh, I did it, man. You know, that's just how it goes, dude. You can create a new pallet. You can change the world.
Also make $1 billion industry.
And $1 billion industry.
That's you.
Now, if you think you can turn pallets into $1 billion industry, that is a very far-fetched goal. You might as well try to be like a star of a TV show or something. You might be more likely than to become a pallet millionaire.
Well,
but it could happen, dude.
The thing is, look out for the blue pallets. If you've seen them, hit us up. Start a little comment down below. Start some comments and get some blue pallets.
Let's get a pallet discussion going here.
If you've seen them, let us know your experience with your blue pallet and where you saw it, what you thought about it.
Where you saw it, where you thought it. All right, this has been the Pallet Cast. This has been the Serious Pallet Cast, and we are out, motherfuckers. Deuce Elise, good night.
Deuce Elise.
Deuce Elise, good night. It's Deuce Elise, good night.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.